this is Annette Negron, and our special guest today is Gene Acevedo from the Bilingual Weekly. He is the publisher and the president of this wonderful publication here in the San Joaquin Valley. Welcome, Gene.
Thank you, Annette, for inviting us.
Well, thank you for being here. This is excellent. This is actually excellent. Now, I know you're really passionate about your community, and I know you're really passionate about everything that you do and the quality of your reporting and to get the true story as it should be told. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, well, it's a story through the perception of the Latino community, or we try to capture the essence and the need of the Latino community and the community overall, because in reality the publication reaches to both sides of the aisle, and it's a good document to highlight the various issues, the items that are affecting our community in ways to provide some conversation with the community so that they can start considering or having the dialogue amongst themselves and maybe seeking the truth amongst themselves. More than anything, the publication is a good vehicle of conversation.
Good vehicle. Now, obviously, it's in both English and Spanish.
Correct.
You do have an online presence as well. However, your stories, you have a current story that, did you want to share that story that you recently published?
Well, let's see. The team publishes all kinds of stories. One of the most fascinating stories that I've encountered recently is the local flights from Aeromexico. I've been intrigued by it and very well satisfied by the amount of community members who have called, who have reached us through the internet, via our websites, and they've shared how much they appreciate the fact that there's this contract going on in Sacramento, where now the door is closer to visit their family and loved ones, pretty much in our local community, if I can put it that way.
Right, exactly. And so we had the opportunity here in Stockton to have an international airport, but that was not to come to fruition for whatever reasons.
For whatever reasons.
And of course, you've captured that story. And it's interesting because we're such in a transportation hub, if you will, with all the facets of transportation. We think that would be a natural fit for our community.
Correct.
And necessity.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. I mean, it's fascinating to know that we are definitely in this hub of relationships or vías de conexión or communication channels, having the major highways, the airport, the port, the train. I mean, it really makes us a gem in California. So we thought that was a topic of interest for our community, and sure enough, we received so many calls saying how much they really appreciated that specific contract in Sacramento and Fresno. As far as I understand, Aeromexico is going to be down there, and it's going to be over in San Francisco as well.
Right.
So it's giving people opportunities, to be connected with their families. Nonetheless, we do cover all types of other conversations, i.e. health, education, environmental issues. I mean, there's so many items that affect us as citizens that I think it's important in the community to be aware that these items are in abundance around them, so that at one point they can start, again, the conversation, they can bring them to the forefront, and they can start addressing them individually at their own home, so that as they converse with their families, as they converse with their children, they can hopefully interact, give them a little bit more information so that they can be healthier. We can build a stronger community in San Joaquin. In reality, the idea of being different, it's pretty much the same community. I mean, we are all one here in San Joaquin. The difference is the ability in many occasions, or the budget to have a computer system to be able to pay the internet on a monthly basis. I mean, a lot of times some families encounter the challenge of either I pay my internet at $15, $20, or do I feed my child?
Right.
So by having a free publication, it reaches those folks that are out there pretty much in the dark, living in our local communities. But at the same time, they're facing the same challenges that we are all facing.
Right.
There is a recent study that highlights that the Latino community, which is the non-assimilated Latino community, has some challenges in terms of the technology. They have fallen a little bit behind. So the paper makes sense for them. Nonetheless, we do reach out to the affluent or the individual who has the ability to have all the technology, all the various gadgets, and they can have the information at the tip of their fingers through the new technology on phones, the websites, the pages, and whatnot. So we're keeping a balance. We're not only keeping a balance in terms of the language, but we're keeping a balance in terms of the financial situation of our audience and or the ability of the technology. Yeah.
Well, I like that. It's a good balance, just that it's called bilingual, and you know that there's a balance there, and that's excellent. That's excellent.
That's our focus.
That is your focus. That's your focus. Where do you see the paper going here, let's say maybe in another year or two? What's your vision? What would you like to see?
Well, that's actually a very good question. I feel that we have reached a level of outreach, a level of connectivity with our community, and the one item that I really hope for is that the paper can influence again the lives of those individuals that read it, influence them in a positive way, so that they can consider their own life, look at themselves, and for them to be able to evaluate their options, for them to evaluate the scenarios, the items that are affecting them, so they can make better decisions. So what will the ultimate goal be for the paper? Well, it's for the paper to be an influence, a positive influence in the lives of San Joaquin County, so that the community can have a better understanding of what's going on around them.
Excellent, excellent. Now you have several reporters in the paper. Is that correct?
Correct.
How many do you have currently?
At this point, there are three reporters who are constantly engaging at various levels. Like I said, I mean, some are doing art, others go out and cover health, others cover the political aspect. Unfortunately, unlike many others, we do encounter the challenge of time. Right. I hope or I wish that we had a lot more time in our hands, to cover all the various challenges and all of the various programming that goes on. I find it fascinating when I hear our community say, well, there is nothing going on in Stockton. And in reality, I wish we had more more hands, more eyes to be able to cover everything that's going on in Stockton. Mm-hmm. There is such an abundance of great information, great programming that goes on here. And a lot of folks don't really realize what's really going on.
And so forth. No, this is very true. There is a lot going on in Stockton. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Mm-hmm. As far as if someone wants to get the paper, I know that how can someone go about that? Tell us.
Well, the business community has been very supportive. There are partners. They provide outdoors or a connectivity with the general public. Mm-hmm. So folks can find the paper in their convenience stores. They can find them in their Latino restaurants. They can find it in their coffee shops, or they can subscribe to the paper. Often enough, folks share that they missed an edition. Now that we're weekly, papers are going faster than ever. We have a stronger readership than what we used to have, so more and more of the papers being consumed or being read, which is great. We often enough ask folks to share the paper. Right. In addition to that, they can always subscribe. They can go online to our website and subscribe through our website, or they can simply give us a call and we can fill out a paper form for them and help them out so they can receive their 52 editions. Mm-hmm.
Well, I will put Jean's information and have it scrolled right here, but also I understand it's very affordable.
It is very affordable. For $10 a year, you can get your 52 editions, and you get your fair amount of information through the publication.
Excellent. That is wonderful. Is there anything that you'd like to add before we...
Well, the one item that we encourage is folks to be interactive with the paper. The paper offers a website where folks can leave comments. They can provide opinions. We challenge everyone to pretty much step up to the plate and provide their information, their view. I mean, I think it's important for the community to be very interactive. In addition to that, we do accept editorial pieces or letters to the editor, right. Depending on the topic and how viable the information is, obviously. But the letters to the editor are always accepted in the publication as long as they're short and concise to the point.
To the point.
Yeah.
So then you encourage the community to have their voice heard and send letters and communicate, which is important. And if obviously if there's something that's an important story, get a hold of Bilingual Weekly, and hopefully maybe someone will get in touch with you, and that could be a wonderful story. Gene, this is great. This is great. Thank you so much for coming. I do so much appreciate it. And you know what? We're going to have Gene back, and we're going to attempt one interview in Spanish. How about that?
That would be great.
Would that be okay?
Not for the challenge.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.